Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are in the final stages of getting this Relic guitar finished. This video is going to focus just on the setup. Everything else has been done on it. The only thing I did off camera was I just went around and made sure all the nuts and screws and everything were nice and tight, made sure nothing loosened up since the last time I looked at this thing, and it's all good to go. So we're going to we'll start with putting new strings on. Normally, I would use a set of nines on this style of guitar, like this scale length, 25 and a half. It's kind of a Fender scale length, and this is a Fender Squire neck. And I think I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to put a set of 10s on here, and I'm going to tune the guitar down half a step to E flat. I've got a couple guitars in E flat, but none of them are like a Telecaster style with the single coil pickups. So I thought just for something different, let's try that. Put a set of 10s on, see how it feels, and yeah, just go from there. So because this is a neck I have never played before, I'm going to leave the nut on for now. I'll put those 10 gauge strings on, string it up, play it. And if I find there's an issue with the nut, like if the slots are cut too low, or it's just I'm just not happy with how it's working, I will likely change this out in the fall when I take the guitar apart again and spray the body with the clear coat. So this won't be the last time we see this guitar. So we're likely going to do a follow-up video in the fall, a couple of those videos. But in the meantime, we're just going to stick with what's on here. So let's get started. Start with the restring. And I'll probably just speed this up in the edit because there's not much to see here. But I like to put all my strings through the body first. Okay, so like I've said in other videos, I like to take my string, pull it about 2 tuners past the tuner you're working on. Mark, just hold it with your thumb and forefinger, pull it back, put a little kink. You can do a manual wrap like so over top of the string you just pulled through the tuner hole. Give that a tug with your finger there just to snug it all up. And then the second wrap will go underneath the tail you just pulled through. So just to zoom in, I'll give you a closer look. That's the kind of wrap you'd like to see around your tuner. Okay. And once we're done, we'll trim the tail off. But a wrap above and a wrap below, that helps keep the string nice and secure in there. So you should have no tuning problems. And I use this type of a wrap around the posts quite often, and I find it works really, really well. So I'm going to do the same for the remaining 5 strings. Same process, using that same 2 tuner rule. And when we get up here, obviously we don't have tuners to work with, so we'll just sort of estimate the string length past these last few. And it's okay to get a couple extra wraps on these strings here, the unwound strings, because they're skinnier. You can get a few more wraps, but don't go crazy. You don't want the wraps spilling over. You have excess amount of wraps and they're falling down onto the nut here. Then you've got too many wraps on there. So just keep that in mind when you're restringing your guitars. Okay, I've got all the strings on now, and I just quickly stretched them a couple of times here. Got the guitar tuned up to E flat. And one thing I forgot to mention, before I put the strings on, I did a rough intonation setting, just measuring the distance to the saddles from the nut and just approximating where the saddles will sit. And the only reason I did that is just to make the intonation adjustments a little easier, to prevent large movements with the saddles when we do get to that. The saddles, I don't know if you can see in the video, but they're a little bit lopsided. I haven't really looked at that yet. But because these saddles, I had them pushed all the way back, pushed all the way forward while I was moving things around. So they were way out of whack. So this is just an approximation. Hopefully I'm close and we just need to make some subtle adjustments, but we'll get to that when we get to the intonation setting. So now that the strings are on and they're stretched up a bit, let's start with the neck relief. Okay, so get your capo. And we're going to capo at the first fret here. I'm going to press down the string at around the 17th fret, where roughly where the body and the neck joint are meet here. And we're going to be aiming for Fender specs on this particular guitar. So I'm going to go for 10 to 12 thousandths of an inch at the 7th and 8th fret. And we'll see how that looks. Actually, that's pretty good right there. I think that's about 11 or 12. Let's get my other gauges out here. Yeah, I think it's about 11 thousandths. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good where it is at 11 thousandths. I'm going to leave it there for now. Let's see how it plays and everything. I've never played this neck before on this guitar. This is all new. So I'm just going to stick with, the standard spec for a Fender Telecaster. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it. We'll see how it plays. That's pretty surprising, actually. I guess when I had done the fretwork, I had made sure the neck was straight, and I hadn't touched it since. And now that we've got the strings on and there's some string tension on the neck, it's providing what seems to be just the proper amount of relief that I'm looking for anyway. So, yeah, let's leave that for now. Next thing we're going to look at will be string height. Okay, looking at the string height here, I haven't measured anything yet, but just taking a quick visual. This is what you don't want to see on your guitar with these types of saddles. You see how the low E string, how it's a little bit lopsided? You can see the height difference in the two grub screws here. So what you want, they want to look more like, the A and the D and the G string. They want to be level. That's what you're aiming for. The E, the B a little bit, and the low E, they're kind of lopsided and sitting kind of goofy. But again, that's because this thing has been sitting and the bridge has been moved and the saddles have been moved repeatedly. So nothing wrong with that, easily enough to adjust that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick measurement and see if I need to lower or raise the strings. If I need to lower the strings, I'm just going to lower the saddle height. If I need to raise them, I'm going to detune all the strings, just so we're not pushing the saddle up with full string tension on. So let me just take a quick measurement of all 6 strings, and I'll come back in a sec. Okay, took a quick measurement. They're actually pretty close to what we're aiming for, and the number we're aiming for is 4/64ths of an inch measured at the 17th fret. Now, the A string is almost bang on. Everything else is a little bit high, so I'm just going to drop all the saddles except for the A string, and take another measurement from there. And since we're not raising these saddles, I am just going to loosen these little grub screws to drop the saddle down a bit. Just giving them a couple of turns on each screw. I'm not going to leave the A1 alone for right now. And I just want to get this one a little more balanced. There we go. Okay. B string's a little sideways still. Okay, and I'm just doing this by eye here. I haven't measured anything yet, but I know they all had to come down a little bit. So let's take another look here now. So I'll move the camera over so you can see how I do the height measurements. Okay, so taking our measurements at the 17th fret right here, I'm going to be aiming for 4/64ths across all 6 strings. And just taking a quick look. Yeah, they're all about 5/64ths actually. Low E strings about 4.5. So they all need to come down just a little bit. So we just need to loosen the grub screws at our saddles here. I'll just move you back so you can see this. So I'm going to do them all except for the low E string. So I'm just going to loosen these screws, maybe a full turn each. Should get us pretty close to where we're going. And when all your saddles are level, you know, you turn one of these grub screws a turn or 2 turns, then you turn the other one a turn or 2 turns. It makes the adjustment process a little easier. That way you're not constantly measuring and checking and looking and seeing what's what. Okay, I just quickly checked and they're all pretty good. I'm just going to lower the low E string maybe a half a turn. It's very, very close. And that should do it for string height. I'll move you back to the 17th fret. Looks good to me. I can just see the line at the 4/64th mark underneath the string. That's how I'm taking my measurement. It kind of shows up on the camera, not 100%. I got to get my light really, really close, but you can sort of see it there. I'll lift the string up so you can see what I mean if I get the light going here. There's your 4/64th mark. And there's where the string is sitting. There's a bit of a shadow there, so it's a little deceiving, but when I look at it from the correct angle, they're all good at 4/64. Now that's just the starting point. I could play this and they all may need to come up a little bit if I'm getting some buzzing or some choking out. This fretboard, if I remember correctly, I think it's a 12-inch. I should have wrote it down. I can't remember now, but I remember it being flat enough to run with the 4/64th measurement across all 6 strings. If it had a 7.5, or I'm sorry, 9.5 or 7.25 inch radius, we would probably set the string height at the saddles according to that radius by using a radius gauge. I'll just quickly show you that. I've got a MusicNomad set. They come with 2. There's this one here that has the 7.25, 9.5, 10, and 12-inch. And then the flatter one here for the 14, 15, 16, and 20-inch. Now you can use these to measure the fretboard radius. I can't really show you that with the strings on. But then you take the same gauge and you would place it about here. And then you would radius the string height according to how they would vibrate against this edge here when placed on the strings. So you would gently rest it like that, pluck your string, and you would hear it vibrate. Like you won't hear it in this case because this is fairly flat. But if you had like a sharper radius like this, a more rounded edge, you would need to radius your string height to match the radius of the fretboard. But we're not doing that here. Just thought I'd mention that for those that do have a fretboard like this. You can do it by measurements as well. You basically have your G and your D string would be the highest, and then the B and the A string would be a little lower, and then the two E strings would be even lower than that. So they would have like an arc, right? The arc would follow that arc. Okay. All right. Next step is intonation. All right, let's get the intonation set here. I just quickly retuned the guitar up to pitch before I started recording. Got my tuner set up over there. Just as a reminder, we're going to E flat tuning on this guitar. So the tuner is going to show the sharp note. So you will see D sharp instead of E flat, for example. So playing the low E string, tune there. Now playing the harmonic at the 12th fret. Pretty good, maybe a little flat. Then the fretted note at the 12th fret. The fretted note is a little flat. So that means we need to move our saddle this way towards the headstock. So in order to do that, we need to loosen our adjustment screw back here. So I'm just going to take some tension off the low E string, just detune it a few turns. And I'm going to move that saddle forward a bit. And then retune the string. There we go. Check the harmonic. A little bit flat. And we're still a little bit flat, so we need to move it forward a little bit more. So detune the string again. Loosen that adjustment screw. Retuning the string. Harmonic. A little closer. Well, the fretted note is very close. Still a bit flat. So again, a little more forward. And I like to lift the string slightly as I loosen or tighten this adjustment, just so the saddle can move a little freer, even though we've got the tension, some of the tension taken off the string. Just makes an easier adjustment. Okay, harmonics quite a bit closer now. Oh yeah, fretted notes quite a bit better. Still needs a little bit more. The fretted note is bang on. And the harmonic is very, very close. It's jumping around a little bit, but I'm happy with that. Yep. Okay. And that's how we set our intonation. So I'll have to do the same for the remaining 5 saddles. So I mentioned earlier that I sort of eyeballed it. I was close, but not 100%. So I can see by the position of this saddle that all of them are likely going to need to come forward a little bit. So I think what I'll do is I'll just take all the tension, all this off the strings, the remaining 5, and just kind of eyeball them, move them all forward, get everything back up to pitch. And then when I make my intonation adjustments on the remaining 5 saddles, it'll be a lot less than the 3 or 4 attempts I had to do on the low E string. I could probably get it down to maybe 1 or 2 at the most, just to save a little bit of time. So I probably won't film that because it's the exact same process. But when I'm done, I'll come back and take a quick look at it before we move on. I thought I'd give you a quick top-down view of what I'm talking about here. So here's the saddle I just adjusted. You can see how it's almost in line with the A string. So what I'm going to do is I've taken the tension off the remaining 5. I'm going to loosen all these saddles. So the A string will be a little forward from the E string. The D string will be a little forward from the A string. The G string will be back a little bit, sort of like where it is now. And the B string will be a little more forward from that. And the E string, the high E, will be a little more forward from the B string. So it's kind of like, they call it a stair step. It looks like stairs, the first 3. And then the G string kind of starts again with a low stair and then goes up. Okay, so that'll make more sense, I think, when you see the after picture that I'll show you when I'm done. So I just thought I'd give you a better shot of that. Okay, so I've got my saddles roughly adjusted here. Like I said a second ago, I just eyeballed this, so you can sort of see how this looks like a little stair step, how the stairs sort of go up from the E to the D and then the G to the high E. Now, I haven't checked anything yet, so let's just move this back here. It's kind of hard to get the fretboard and the tuner and everything in the same frame, so I'll just show you the saddles and the tuner so you can sort of watch what's going on. So we know our low E string is good, so let's start with the A string. In this case, it's showing as a G sharp, so that's the open note. Oh, harmonic's good. And the fretted note is a little bit flat, so same thing. Take a little tension off. Just going to move that saddle forward a little bit. Tune it back up to pitch. Okay, the fretted note is in tune now. The harmonic's good. Okay, so that's what I meant by getting it close. Like, it was very, very close. I had to make a little adjustment, and then bang, we're perfect. So let's take a quick look at the D string. And okay, she's in tune there. Open note. Harmonic looks good. Fretted note, oh, it's good. Won't have to do anything there. So we'll take a quick look at them all over here. G string's a tiny bit flat. There we go. Harmonic, pretty good, a little bit flat. And the fretted note is flat. I think I'm going to leave that one for right now. The B string is a little bit flat on the open note. There we go. Harmonic looks good. And the fretted note looks good. High E is good. Harmonic, good. And the fretted note is good. Perfect. Wow, that worked out really well, actually. Kind of surprising. So yeah, very, very, very small adjustments. So that was just a bit of a time saver, a little trick. You can try that little stair step, they call it, if you like. It'll definitely save you some time setting the intonation. And again, these are measurements taken with the guitar laying down, and I'll recheck everything in the playing position. It's usually very close, if not the same. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but it's usually pretty close. The next thing we're going to do is the pickup height. I should also mention that I did lower the pickups before setting the intonation because they were sitting quite high. I didn't measure them. I could just tell by looking at them they were way too close to the strings. So I just lowered them down a little bit so they wouldn't interfere with setting the intonation, because if the pickups are too close to the strings, it'll affect the way the string vibrates, because of the magnets are going to pull on those strings as they're vibrating, right? So it's usually not an issue as long as they're not too close. But in this case, they were close. I just dropped them right down and they're going to need to come up quite a bit. But that's not a big deal. They're just a couple of screws to make those adjustments. Pretty simple. So that is what is next on the table here. So let's take a look at that. Let me just get the camera repositioned here. Okay, now to set our pickup height, we're going to be using our Telecaster spec of 3/32 of an inch on the bass side. So this would be the bass side, the lower strings. Now to measure your pickup height, it's pretty straightforward. You just want to press the string down here at the last fret. Take your ruler and place it on top of the pickup like so. So you can see this needs to come up a little bit. It's just over 4/32 of an inch, so it's got to come up 32nds of an inch. So to do that, grab your screwdriver. In this case, it's a Phillips. And we want to turn our adjustment screw here on the side of the pickup. We want to raise it, so we're going to turn it clockwise. So I'm going to give it a turn and a half or so. Check our measurement again. Oh, very, very close. That looks pretty good to me, 3/32. And we'll do the same on the bass side on the bridge pickup as well. I'll just slide you over here. And you depress the string down again. You can't see me do it, but you can see the string move in there. Take your measurement on top of the pole piece here. In this case, this is quite low. It's just over 5/32. So that's got to come up quite a bit. Gonna need a bigger screwdriver for this one. Still a Phillips. Raise it up, turning it clockwise, same as the neck pickup. Take your measurement again. Oh, very close. A little bit more. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's 3/32 right there. And again, these are just, guidelines, a starting point. You're going to want to play it when you've got everything all set up, see how it sounds, make sure you're happy with it, and make any adjustments at that point. Like you want a nice balance between the neck and the bridge pickup. As far as the treble side of the pickup goes, a little harder to show you that one. That might come through. Oh yeah, it's coming through. So we're going to go a little higher on the treble side here. So they recommend 1/16 of an inch. This ruler doesn't do that, so we'll just use 2/32 of an inch. It's the same thing. So this is 5 as well. So it's got to come up a fair bit. So same thing. Turn your adjustment screw clockwise. Take your measurement again. Very close. Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, there's 2/32 right there. Now you may notice, I don't know if this is going to come through on the camera. See if I can angle it a bit here, show you. It's not too much of a difference, but you may notice that the pickup is looks a little lopsided. This screw in the front right here, and I'll move the camera to show you a bit of an angle. This will help you adjust the tilt on that pickup. It raises it a little bit. And if I drop it all the way down, you can kind of see how it's angling towards the screwdriver. And if you tighten it, it lifts it up and give you a more balanced parallel to the strings. That's what this one in the front here is for, okay? So you just want to make sure it's level, parallel to the strings. Take your measurements again, because you may have adjusted that height a little bit differently. Yeah, that's going to come up a little bit more now. Okay, there's our 3/32. And you need to come up just a little bit on the treble side. So adjusting that tilt affected our setting, right? That's why I have to readjust. That's pretty good. It can come down a touch, but I'm just going to leave it because I'm going to likely have to come back and make some tweaks to this once I play it. So I need to make the same adjustment on the neck pickup here on the treble side. This is just one screw on either side. There's no tilt on this particular style of pickup. And this one is at about 4/32, so that's got to come up a fair bit. So okay, that's pretty close. I mean, yeah, sorry, you can't really see that in the camera, unfortunately, but that's pretty good. That's about 2, a little bit more. And I'll move the camera just to show you what I'm talking about if you've never seen this before. Okay, so the height is good. And there's that tilt I was mentioning before, that one here. These ones here will adjust the overall height, and this one will help you, adjust the tilt of the pickup so it's sitting parallel to the string. And the neck pickup has just got the pretty standard screw on either side of the pickup just to raise and lower it. And that should be about it. The only other thing I want to take a quick look at is the first fret action, or the nut action, at the other end of the guitar here. And I took a quick look at it after I put the strings on, and I don't think I need to do anything here. I just want to take a quick look while we got the camera rolling. I'm just going to move you down a bit here. I'm just going to do a little eyeball test here by holding my finger here on the 3rd fret, and I'm going to tap right here. And I'm just looking to see what kind of a bounce or gap between the bottom of the string and that 1st fret. And this is this is very, very good. That looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get the gauges out to look at that. Keep in mind this is a used neck, so this nut slots have got some wear on them. You can see there's just a tiny little bounce happening there, which is what you're looking for. I mean, I could get the gauges out and give you exact numbers, but I mean, what's the point? I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll see how it plays. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with that. Like, there's no open note buzzing when I was setting the intonation and stuff. Like, I would have heard it, and that's a good indication that your nut slot is cut too low. Is you hit your open strings and you hear some buzzing, it's a good indication your nut slots are too low. It's one thing to check, but yeah, I mean, this is a nice low action up here. It's very effortless to play. A little bit of buzz on that A string, but the guitar is laying down. Yeah, I got to strike it pretty hard to make it buzz, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'll check the string height before we move on, just to make sure something didn't change. But again, I'm going to recheck all these measurements in the playing position. Okay, I made a few minor adjustments to the setup on the guitar. I played it, plugged it into the amp, and tried it out. I found there was a little bit of buzzing middle of the neck here, just a tiny bit, especially when I was strumming quite hard. So I added a touch more relief, so we're sitting at around 12 thousandths of an inch, measured at the 7th and 8th fret. And I raised the strings just a touch, so they're about 4.5 64ths, just to help with a bit of that buzz. And it seems to be okay now. And the strings are going a little flat still when I was playing, so it tells me they're still stretching a bit. But other than that, which is normal, it seems to be playing fine. I did tweak the pickups a little bit. I dropped the bridge pickup a little bit and raised the neck pickup a little bit. The bridge pickup actually sounds really, really cool in this guitar, especially with just a little bit of distortion on it. It's got a nice kind of a growly, kind of a snarl to it, nice and like a nice snap to it. I don't know how else to describe it. The neck pickup sounds a little, how can I describe it? It sounds a little flat. I'm not really sure how else to put it. It sounds good when you blend it in the middle position where you're playing with both of them. On its own, it sounds a little lifeless, almost like you've got the tone knob turned completely off. That's kind of what it sounds like. It's not a bad sound, but it's just not a sound I'm super keen about. But again, not a big deal. I mean, it's working. I don't think it's a fault of the pickup. Maybe that's just the way it is. I really don't have a reference for this guitar, because when I bought this guitar, I bought it new, but I bought it at a very good price because there was a bunch of finish damage to it. I guess when it would ship to the store, so they couldn't really sell it as new, and they were having a hard time selling it because it didn't look very good. I mean, it played fine and whatnot. So I just got it because I got a good price on it, and my intent was to use it for parts and as a project guitar, and this is what we ended up with, was this Relic guitar project here. So anyway, so I didn't really get a good chance to really play it at all. So I don't really have a reference for this neck pickup, but I mean, it's easily changed out if I really, really don't like it. And this is just through my practice amp setup I have at the bench here. I didn't plug this into my main amps yet, so it might sound better through there, but the practice amp I use has got a nice variety of tones and presets on it. So I think it's just the pickup. But again, easy enough to change. So other than that, I think we're done for now. We will revisit this guitar in the fall when I repaint it, and any other anomalies or issues that might come up in the meantime, I'll address those when I take the guitar apart again and spray the clear coat on. And yeah, but for now it's good. It's playing fine. I'm happy with how it came out. I liked how it looks. Not sure what you guys think. I'll give you a quick pass over the guitar here. You've seen the body quite a few times. There's the headstock and the tuners there. Did some fret work, cleaned the fretboard up. So there you have it. That's the Relic guitar. Yeah, so that was my first Relic guitar. It was kind of a project. It took a long time to get her done just because I took a while to find a neck for it that would fit properly without too much shimming and what have you. But in the end, it turned out fine, and I'm happy with it. I do like the way this copper has aged. Like, it's got that really worn look now. That looks really cool. I may change the pick guard. I keep flip flopping on this. I don't know what the problem is. I do like it, and then some days I look at it and think, maybe I should have used the other one. But whatever. I'm not going to worry about that now. And it plays good. I've got those 10s on here, those 10 gauge strings, and tuning it to E flat, it feels like I'm playing a set of 9s. So I think that was the right call in this situation, tuning it half a step flat. And yeah, that should do it for now, guys. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the comments and the views and the likes. And this will wrap it up for the Relic guitar for now. And any future videos, I will just update the playlist for this guitar. Okay, it'll show up as a new video, but it'll be in this playlist. I like to organize my videos by the playlists. That way it's easier to reference them down the road if you want to come back and revisit things. So that should do it. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.